Hello. Today we are going to be designers. We talked about how a designer has to think through a product way before it actually comes out. It starts with the original artist's design sketch, and they have to think about the customer, the purpose of their drawing. So we are working on watches, and we had started with naming some different type of devices that our watches, as we redesign, can actually have such significant impact on how the people use it. So in this design, I have one using maybe a watch that shows a medical device to check a person's heart, maybe their temperature, various things like that. So that is our customer. It is probably used in a hospital or some medical person, or if a person in general has some issues that they want to keep track of. If they're running, keep the check on their heart rate. On this one, we're looking at possibly what if you have a self-defense sort of watch. What if it has an alarm on the side and the lights flash up and it creates a nice sound, or even a slight pepper spray. On this one, a lot of people like going camping. So what is the best way to be able to find out where you are? I know we have Google where we can do it, but how about the general compass? What if it's not available? Can you read a compass? Also, what if something needs to be charged? Maybe that watch will have a solar power in it, so you can plug up and charge up your phone of something other sort of devices. This is how designers work. We create different things that have never been done before, and we try to apply these needs of the customers and come up with great products. So let's get started. As you start your design, you will have a purpose of what you're doing it for. So what I'd like for you to do is focus on what and who your customer is for and what are the needs. So let's try to recreate some of these. Again, when we start a design, the best way to do it is start with geometric shapes. So I am going to start with a circle. And notice I'm starting really light, very lightly. And then once I think I like it, then I can come back through and darken the edges that I feel comfortable with. All right, so always remember to start very, very lightly, and then you can always come back through and darken it as you get on with your drawing. So I'm going to darken it just a little bit. I'm going to now work on what does the watch's band look like. I don't have to draw it all, but I'm just going to draw it with a slight angled part where the wrist watch goes around the arm. And I'm going to put a line here, suggesting that it does curve. And I can create a slight curve on it like this and let it disappear, so the viewer can use their imagination that that watch armband goes around the surface. All right? I'm going to do that on both sides, and I'm going to taper it in on both sides. Again, curve it off. You can use whatever design that you want. Now, I want this to look a little bit more 3D, so I'm going to add a little depth here. So I'm going to repeat this curve underneath. Okay? I'm going to draw a line to that, and then I'm going to taper this up. That gives dimension and height to our watch, okay? So we're going to curve it around. We're going to come down like so. And then I'm going to curve it up and down. That line back, I like that now. And then pretend the watch band goes around. So we want it to look as if it has dimension, okay? And on this one, I'm going to divide it a little bit. I'm doing a little bit different than my other watch that I had over here. And as a designer, what we do is you might have this design, but your first design isn't one that you should always just fall in love with. So you might say, I like this one, but what other things can I do with it? So once you've drawn it, another one that you can draw can be slightly different, all right? Have the same needs and fulfill those things, but maybe you make it a little bit differently. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a solar plug in the side of this one. Okay, I'm going to add the 1 plug, okay? And then again, this is where my box will come for my charger plug, okay? And again, notice I'm using really geometric shapes, straight lines, and I want my cord to come out here. And I think it has a little bit of a square there. You can look at your charger and find out, or your parents' one, and see kind of what it looks like. But this is going to go inside of here, and sometimes we put a little arrow like this to let them know that that goes inside of that. All right, let's get back to our watch. I'm going to draw the line of symmetry through it because I want them to know that this watch has a big kind of a curve on the top. Okay? And then this is where we're going to put our numbers. I'm going to put a light guide line on here, and let's make it 1 o'clock. Put the thing down here. Here's 1. And I'm going to make it nice and wide. You can come back and do this in like a color of red or something. Let's make it maybe 1:30. I can do that just with indicator lines on it, okay? And then here for our 0. All right, so it looks like 1:30. And then I'm going to put a slight PM here, so we know that it's not 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? All right, so we got 1:30. That's pretty good for our watch. All right, now let's put that compass in here. This is going to be our camping. So I'm going to make a nice big size circle, and then I'm going to curve it so we can see the bottom of it. And then a compass actually has a cross line through it like so. Try to make it as perpendicular as I can, to a parallel. And then here's our perpendicular line through there, okay? And then here's our 2 north, south, east, and west. And then I'm going to put some marks here because you might be going southeast, southwest, and kind of, I do 1, and then I'll do a couple of small ones in there, like a compass would have. All right, and I'm going to shade this part a little bit so it looks like it's tucked in a little bit. All right, so that's our nice compass. Put a little shading around this part so it looks like it's buried into the watch a little bit. It's kind of inside of the glass there, okay? All right, what else could you do? Let's do a little shading on here, which helps us show that this part is round. And then we're going to shade out. And I'm going to shade soft, first dark here, and then I'm going to blend out darker here. This gives the illusion that the light is coming from this direction, okay? So, and I'm going to put a little bit of shading around here like we did for our core a little bit, okay? To suggest that that is slightly round, okay? Really super soft. Okay, all right. Now, I think what we'll do is let's go and do the sides of it. So it looks like it curves around a little bit more, and I'm going to straighten this line up a little bit. That's why when you do it lightly, you can always come back and make slight changes to it. And that's going to fade away. And I'm going to darken the underside of it just a little bit so it pops out a little bit more. So the intent of my watch design here is for a customer that may go on a camping trip and they want to make sure they have a really good compass just in case their cell service or something goes out. All right, so you might add more on to what your camping actually watch will do. I'm going to put the indicator on there so we know which way they're going. All right, can't not have that on a watch. All right, now let's go to our medical one. This one that I started, the camp one, was more round, but our medical one, I am going to use more a square shape to it. Okay, so if you want to try to figure out how to get started, we're going to keep it simple and start with your basic shapes. Again, with our shape of a square, and then add dimension to it by making it look 3D by making it have a side on it. So let's show that right over here. We are going to start with, again, just our square, 2-dimensional. Okay, roughly put that in. All right. All right. Okay, that's the square. Now, how do we turn a square into 3-dimension? We're going to draw some lines straight down. And remember, the side that you can't see because it's behind it, we won't draw a line there. We'll just draw the lines in the areas that you can see. All right? Now, I'm going to close that off, and it's looking more like a cube shape. Okay, we'll start with that. And then I'm going to draw a little bit higher up. I'm going to draw where the wristband would come across. Okay? And this becomes the thickness of whatever the material is, whether it's metal or whether it's leather. Okay, and then it comes out on this side. So we got, notice I'm trying to imagine it because I don't want it up above, so I wanted it close to that same area that the other side was. So I'm just going to come straight through and create how the band would keep going. All right. So on the other one, I made like a frame around it, and I can put a little one, but I'm not going to put as big of a frame around this one. Again, every time I try to draw, I try to add a little different feature so that people have options. As a designer, you always have to come up with more than one proposal. So I'm going to draw my center line to make sure everything stays nice and balanced. Again, this one goes here, it comes through and comes out on this side. All right, so how is the heart rate? What type of shapes? And I looked it up, and it has little straight up, little short down, and this center line is kind of there. Then it has another up, down, then it goes up, and then it might drop a bit and then come all the way down, up. It's like a whole bunch of mountainy things, and then go back down. But you want that ribbon to be moving so you know that the patient is well. So we're going to use our imagination on that. And I'm going to put a little heart here on mine so you know that that is what it's reading. Okay? And so when your heart rate, I think a good heart rate, they say, is 120 over 80. And all this is because when you are designing, you have to research what is important and what are the correct numbers. So, and then it has a BP. All right. All right. And of course, this is a watch, so we need to have our number for our watch. So let's make it 148. One in the middle. Okay. All right. So this watch kind of has a curve or hard corner, so I want to soften that up because that doesn't look very friendly if it's too hard of a corner. Okay. Nice and soften that up just a little bit. All right. So that is my medical device. And draw the line across here. And you might think of a whole bunch of other things that you might need. It might have the temperature, the person's temperature, let's say 98.6. We have healthy people, okay? So we want to make sure everything we show that they are doing amazing. Everyone's well, all right? So you keep adding to that. This other one that I had, I am going to show you how to make the wristband go all the way through. So I'm going to start with an oval shape. Okay, now this is on this one here. I'm going to show that how we start is using oval. Our geometric shape is an oval, and then we'll build from that. Okay, so I'm going to start with what I think my wristband should look like, and then I'm going to go a little bit wider on it, come up and create this here. Okay, come around my oval, so it looks like that is my actual shape of my watch. Let me darken this up some. All right, and then I'm going to go like this, like that. Take it at an angle, turn that down, and then I'm copying this shape over here. Okay, and make it roll around a bit. Okay, so again, start with your oval, make the outer oval, then bring up how tall you want your watch to be. All right, make the lines off of it and then close it off, almost making a block on top of it. I'm keeping it very simple with geometric shapes. Okay, all right, and again, we're making this to have maybe a signal on it. It might be a spray that comes out that if someone is coming against someone. Okay, all right, so that will be the spray there. Then you might want to have an alarm, so I want my watch to really light up, so I'm going to put a whole bunch of these on here. So if someone is running after and want to let people know that I need support, this is going to be a glowing watch. All right, now notice my watch has big. I want it to look like the end of the watch is on the other side. So I'm going to create this same round to close this off like this. So it looks like you can look through the watch and your arm goes into it. Okay? All right, so here are my alarms. All right, and we can come back. We can use colors. For instance, if this is the alarm, I might want this red. Okay, so you can show that red. Maybe all the indicators might be red, so it looks like they line up. Okay. What other type of needs do you think a watch can offer to someone? All right, so each one of these you can come back through and really add the colors and the designs that you really want on it. Okay, all right, so I hope you enjoyed that. When you get done, all of our skills as far as shading, go back through and add some shading through your designs. All right, just a little soft, keep it soft, or you can come in with colored pencil and you can actually show me all the colors that you can make your watch to be. All right, so enjoy the process. Once you're done with it, color it in with shading like we did on our other projects, and make your watch design have great use and purpose and enjoy. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. We will come back and finish the rest of it with our next project that will follow. Have a really, really great day.